All right, here we are. I think we're live.
I'm pumped. Pumped with that dubstep.
Hey, that was all from Pond 5. I've used it so many times, man. So many times a night. My wife is just like, I can't stand that dubstep. Why do you always use it? I'm just like, it's dope, man. So here we are. Episode 7, Ill-Mannered Art. What's going on, everybody? This is episode 7, and we got Josh Blaylock here. If you guys don't know Josh Blaylock, you've been well, at least know Mercy Sparx has been 16 years or something like that.
Yes, as of now, yeah. 2008 was when it first dropped.
So check that out, dude. Like, Mercy Sparx came out a year before Zombie Tramp. It's crazy. They're like sisters.
It's had a sporadic like release schedule, over the years, but it just keeps going consistently. So now there's like big omnibus collections and hardcovers, and 1,000 pages of stories that all compiled together. And now I'm like looking to get back to it. So it took 15 years for me to actually draw the book myself. I designed the characters, almost all the characters. Was really specific about what I wanted it to look like and everything, and I've written it the whole time. But then I was like, okay, I'm going to finally draw this, and did it. Killed myself with like a 48-pager with no more angels left to fall for anyone who supported that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Working on the new stuff, Daddy Issues, 3-issue series.
Nice. That's the new one coming out, right?
Yeah.
Is that you told me, is that like a flashback episode, or how was it?
No, it's gonna. So, you want to just jump into this now?
Sure. Fuck it.
Yeah. Well, so people don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Mercy Sparx is about a devil. It's about this devil girl that hunts down rogue angels for heaven. So she does heaven's dirty work, and she's like. She doesn't really want the job. She's kind of like drafted into it. Just wakes up on Earth one day looking like a human, and then we skip to a year later, and she's been hunting angels and stuff. So, right now we're at the we've gone through all these years of like this big epic story, and there was this big climactic event that sort of reset the status quo, and then last issue, something brought her back. Like she had a deal where she was going to be left alone. Finally, they needed her to come back. So she does. Now she's back in, she lives in Chicago because that's where I live, and that's where I wanted all my characters to be.
Nice.
And we introduced a new, her. So she has this sidekick / roommate / BFF, Hank, who's this metalhead dude that never applied himself. But he's like a genius, and he can makes all these gadgets and stuff for her.
Yeah.
So it's like a play on the modern vampire weapons, where we're gonna have UV bullets and or silver bullets, but we're gonna have UV grenades and all that stuff. It's like, what if you had to make gadgets that could fight and hurt angels.
Yeah.
So there's like unholy water and some brass knuckles made from a melted down halo and inverted cross rosaries, like one of the newer things.
Dude, I get excited. Tell me about the axe, dude. Like, where's the big
So the axe was one of those things. You know how you like just pull something out of your ass?
Yeah.
And then everyone's like,
you don't have a picture of the axe.
What is that? Yeah.
This axe is not on here, damn it.
No, it's issue 4. It debuted on the cover to issue 4.
It's like a double-bladed axe with like an angel carved on it.
I can do it better, I think. Well, here's the
there you go. You got the pin, right?
Yeah, here's a sticker.
There you go.
And then it's like, so there is we have an enamel pin for it, but in the middle, so you imagine like a little silver little angel statue that like your little abuelita might have in like a at home, and then but you push a button and the wings go like, and then like the stick comes out the bottom, and it's actually an axe, so she can carry it around like a little holster. And it's a souvenir she got because there was an angel that was chasing her down trying to kill her with it, so that was one of her spoils of war. When she fights the angels and finally has them beat, she has to like actually like rip their halo off from like the energy bond
to actually finish it.
Yeah, cool, we haven't actually shown that in a while. We got to get back to that.
Oh, you got to get back on it, dude. Like, just because of new readers and things like that, I always have to jump back on things like for Zombie Tramp. Like one of the last issues, I had to remind the readers that she doesn't eat brains because like she doesn't want people's memories when she eats them. Like she'll remember everything about them, and she doesn't want to experience people's traumas, so she'll just eat flesh instead, and little things like that. Like,
you have to, because you get, especially now in like this age we're going in where we're making them more like self-contained again because we're doing so many things on Kickstarter. It's like making sure it's accessible to a new audience, and but yeah, there's those moments, like one of the coolest moments that really, when Mercy Sparx came out, that people had never seen before, which I still don't think I've seen anybody else do it. This devil's fighting this angel. When it's done, she like puts her foot, up on her, and she's like, yeah, like just rips the halo off. And then the angel just passes out unconscious or dead. You don't know.
Yeah.
And, like, that was such a simple thing that just came up naturally in the creative process, but it's like, fuck, that's a badass thing that's never been done. And then you realize, oh, I didn't show that in the last 5 years of stories.
Got to do it again. Yeah.
That's one reason I'm reprinting number 1 here, which is that campaign you're
so
generously showing. I haven't reprinted the first issue since like 2008. And I'm also going to include this little 8-page issue 0 99-cent special that was part of it as well, or that came out right before it. Tim Seeley did an awesome cover for me that's like that's literally a scene taken probably like leading up to like was the very first page of the first issue ever.
This one right here.
It opens with her.
Yeah.
It opens with her like throwing shit at somebody's yelling at her boyfriend off panel. And then you realize her boyfriend's this gigantic spider monster dude.
I just had Tim Seeley turn in his Zombie Tramp versus Hack Slash exclusive for Ilcon, and I used this guy because I asked you who colored this.
Oh yeah, Carlos Padilla.
Yeah, he already colored it, and it's awesome, man. I'll show it off later. But yeah.
Oh hell yeah, he's he is
who
great.
Who did this fucking thing right here on the right side?
Hey, I just switched to my Yeti. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you better.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Awesome. That was Genevieve Brumal.
Really?
Yeah, that was the cover. I don't know if I have it up.
Get to a bigger shot of it.
It was covered at issue 8, 7 or 8, and it just came out perfect. It's like she drew a little more gritty than normal, and it just came out as like this awesome, like sexy gutter punk.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's just just has such a nice feel to it. Yeah, right here, Genevieve Brumal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she kind of left comics, just doing stuff, just drawing whatever she feels like drawing these days, and having fun with it, and drawing more like whimsical kind of fantasy stuff, I think.
Yeah.
But I think she still does a few conventions. And then Oh, but the axe.
Yes.
So the axe just, we've always got all these gadgets and stuff, and then so Matt Merhoff was the main artist on the series like for years, and I think he just kind of got burnt out on drawing it for so long, and he went off to do some DC stuff for a while and just kind of never came back around. But he's still like, I mean, I consider him like co-creator with me basically, because he's was around for so long, and he just drew that axe on the cover.
Yeah.
And then immediately, you know how so when you're putting it out to the stores, you have to get the covers done like 5 months ahead of time.
Yeah.
And sometimes not
ridiculous. Yeah.
dirty secret in the industry, sometimes you don't even exactly know what's going to be in that comic book, like how it's going to end. So I was up to the wire on the schedule, and I hadn't written I was still working on issue 3 when we solicited issue 4, and immediately everyone was like, "What's that axe? Like, that's cool." So I just wrote it into issue 3.
Yeah.
I had this angel chasing her down anyway, who was like an angel that she had captured earlier that was pissed. So or wanted to get back at her for capturing a friend. And I just like, okay, this is one of the weapons the angel has. And then it just stuck. So it's one of those happy accidents.
Yeah, it's I remember when I was doing monthlies, man, and it would be like, "Oh, we need a synopsis for like issue 12." And I was like, "We're on issue 9, dude. Like, what?" You know what I mean? I'm just like,
yeah.
And then I'll give them one sentence of what's gonna happen. Here's a sentence, and they're like, "That's it?" And I go, "Yeah." They're like, "You don't have a longer synopsis?" I go, "No, it's a sentence."
You know what I makes me think about it every time I look at the Rick and Morty descriptions of episodes.
Yeah.
On iTunes, it's always like, "Oh yeah, bro, what the fuck, bro? That's awesome!" Like that's literally like the description of the episode. I'm like, oh, because they're like, whatever. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
But I do like the axe was a cool idea because Mercy is very hard to cosplay if you make the devil version. So my idea was always that
it's a lot of paint. Yeah.
If you don't want to commit to that, you could just be like the blonde. So when she's on Earth, she has this glamour that makes her look human. And, when she devils out, like she just kind of instantly changes and, is her true self. Which is another thing to honestly, I'll realize that. I'll realize like, you know what? I haven't explained like, just through exposition in like 3 issues, like, oh yeah, the blonde is the same person as the devil. And if you had just picked the book up, that might have confused you.
Yeah, when people are like, oh, who's this blonde girl? And who's gonna? Yeah, but once you read it, you know.
Yeah, like, oh, the axe would be a way, like, if like a girl just wanted to rock the blonde hair and the punk rock jacket, whatever, like you could carry that axe and be identifiable.
Be done as long as you put the tattoos and
yeah. My dream is to have twins that want to cosplay, and one walks around as the devil and one walks around as the human, and they both have, and then like people at the con are like, wait a minute, I thought I just saw.
That's funny. Or they just paint one side of themselves, so it's like one side's the devil version, one side's the
that would be dope. Girl,
yeah,
so. Yeah.
I like this idea.
That cover, I was proud of that idea.
I like this idea. I was gonna ask you if I could steal it.
Dude, it's a meme, man. I just stole it from the meme anyways. So
I think I'm gonna steal this idea from you, and yeah.
Mercy does that. So spoiler alert, she drinks a lot.
Yeah, she drinks, smokes, man. She's foul mouth.
She doesn't really want to. I always would describe her as like when people are like, what's this book about? It's like, oh, it's like you imagine like Preacher meets Hellboy meets Constantine meets the Jessica Jones show, and then I would always add on top like, but it's kind of like Bad Santa. Like her attitude is like Billy Bob Thornton and Bad Santa if she I'm adding a character in the book now. This dude Pigeon showed up. He's just unapologetically just like Billy Bob Thornton cast in the book.
Nice. But is this your first coin?
Yeah, I've never done one. I'm a little nervous about.
I really like the like you put the other language on the bottom, like the Latin.
Yeah, I just thought that would be fun. to add in there.
You gotta like sit there and Google shit. You're like, okay, how do you
Yeah,
say
and then when you translate it, if you lose your notes, you translate it back. You're like, shit, what was that supposed to say?
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
And that's how we end up accidentally summoning demons.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I got this one. I want a scene in the new book where like there's this demon that has like a sigil on it to protect it from exorcisms, and I actually came up with like a real sigil. Like there's like there's like a method where you basically write the words, you take out the vowels, and then you make it in. You keep making all the letters, including like a symbol.
Nice.
Like so, I actually do that, and then I have this thing, and I'm like, and then I just had it on a post-it note after I drew it, and I just had it. I have it sitting there in my basement, and then I was like, maybe I should get rid of this. How do I safely dispose of evil sigils?
So you guys are watching. This is Mercy Sparx is live right now. There's 7 days to go. You did a short campaign, huh?
This was I only did it for 14 days because we've got other stuff we want to launch. I got this other like completely different educational thing about breaking into comics that's coming out soon, and then we've got a crazy cyberpunk sci-fi thing coming up, and I just wanted to move this and kind of experiment too. Like it seems like with Kickstarter, the audience for certain things, the audience is just they're there or they're not.
Yeah.
And you kind of find yourself in that, like even right now, I'm glad we're doing this because it's going to bring new people to it. It's in that lull period where like, all right, everybody came in right away, got into it, and then it kind of sits around for a week, and then at the very end, people start jumping in.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so if you guys are just watching and you never read Mercy Sparx before, jump on this campaign. Like I always do at the end of the episode, like in the morning, I'll put a link to everything we talked about, so you guys can click on it if you haven't already, and just try this book out. And it's awesome. It's been around longer than Zombie Tramp, guys.
Yeah.
Did you know? I don't know. I was lied to a lot with those other guys, with those other publishers. But one day they said, "Hey, would you want to do a crossover with Mercy Sparx?" And I said, "Yeah." But that's all that happened. Did anybody ever approach you to do a crossover with Zombie Tramp back in the day?
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Like, but I don't remember what stage we were at. Like, it's hard to say because that's jogging my memory now. Like, when was that?
That's gotta been like 2010 or 12, around between those years, maybe.
Because I would, I put the mini series out, and then I'd have a break, and then I'd put out other stuff, and then it always was at the point when it was just a book going through the stores, and there was no other real outlet for it.
Yeah.
Before all the crowdfunding, it was like
it was pre-crowdfunding big time.
I'd always lost a little bit of money on it, and then it would sit, and then we would collect it, and it would finally like kind of break even, but really, I mean, I've sunk tens of thousands of dollars into it over the years. That I was in the hole on. I think only thanks to like the movie deal we had and stuff, I finally kind of came out ahead on it. As of now, I'm like kind of in that stage of it.
Yeah.
But part of it is I won't get out of my own way and just make the fucking book. Because since the crowdfunding is there, now it's like the last one we did that I drew myself, like it did well. It wasn't a crazy seller, but we, between all the backer kit and everything else, raised about 30 grand. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's profitable. Like, get out of your way and do it. And it still goes through comic shops, and so that's why the next one I'm drawing it. This another artist, Brian Rogers, is coming in. We haven't really officially announced that yet, but he's coming in to do finishes over my
nice
lines, and we work really well together. So if we get in our rhythm, we'll be able to bang out like standard 22-page issues pretty regularly, which I'm excited about. And it's not trying to like match like Merhoff's style at all, because that's so distinguishable. Like it's just its own more like kind of like punk rock kind of indie energy to it. and yeah, well, I'm ready to go. So
that's cool. Yeah. How many issues has Mercy Sparx done?
there, I just always say it's about 1,000 pages of stuff. There was a four issue miniseries plus an issue 0 bonus. Then there was a Hack Slash crossover where Mercy Sparx meets Cassie Hack. Speaking of crossovers,
yeah.
And then chronologically, that falls right after the first miniseries, and then there's the ongoing series started after that, which went 14 issues long, and in between there was Mercy Sparx Year One, which is a 3-issue miniseries. I think some extra page counts in there too. There was, and now there was most recently No More Angels Left to Fall, which was a 48-page one shot, but it comes after all that stuff. And there was a Who's Who encyclopedia. I wanted to do like the Marvel Who's Who, so it was called Who the Fuck.
That's awesome.
And that comes in really handy later when you're like trying to explain the universe to people. You're like, there you go. Now we need an RPG out of that. We need a stats and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
like about 27 to 30 issues.
So I think what I'm proud of in it is there's things that took me like 8 years to finally drop, but like it's a cohesive story, and like there are lingering subplot things that come on that like follow through because I'm like obsessive about that kind of stuff. So now if you binge it and you've never heard of it before, you're kind of you can actually read through all of it, and you can maybe I think kind of more see how it all weaves together. But
man, that's so dope that you did the Who's Who, man. Like we've been talking about doing a Who's Who for a while, man. But I'm like, what the hell would I call it? And you already named it the perfect name.
They're a lot of work. They are a lot of work, but like they're kind of rewarding, and you don't have as much of an art lift, unless you really want to draw new stuff for everything. We took like there were certain characters I drew new pictures for because I didn't have any good shots of them from the book really, but or just because I wanted to, but you can take screenshots of stuff, cropped panels. I mean. But then like the writing, it's good. It forces you to really like flesh out some of the characters you might have like had ideas for, but not really thought through their backstory that closely.
Yeah. For me, like I just gotta put it together and build it into a book, because it's like every single book that we do, we always do a bio in the back. So it's like, they all just look like this. So it's just, you know what I mean? So it's all done.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's free money.
Because I used to love Marvel Universe and Who's Who and stuff. I'd buy all of those, dude. So it's like I always do that. So it's like, even when there's like a monster they fight, we do a bio of the monster. So all we got to do is just like go to every single issue that we've done so far and like actually grab those pages and start building something,
I think too, one thing I've been thinking about is just taking that and compiling it into like a YouTube video too, because like that's how, speaking of new readers, when you get new to a comic book universe, or especially when you're younger and brand new to comics in general, one of the most fun things to do is get those books and you just kind of go through them and we've got like one of my nieces is obsessed with horror movies and knows every single thing about every horror movie. She's like 14 and she knows more stuff about movies from the 70s than I do. And it's because not she's seen the movies, she's watched like those YouTube videos that like Ending Explained is one of them. It's like a series where they just explain every single thing about every film. And I'm like, that's the same shit. It's like the same thing as like getting these Who's Who books and just absorbing it all, and you kind of know the universe and then you're in it. And now you can just go buy the stories and read them as you choose.
When we do the monsters, we just I never really do a redraw. We just take screen captures of the book, and we put it together like this one or whatever. It's like
Clive the Kraken looks fun.
Yeah, that's the bad guy that is in Zombie Tramp versus Sugar Pop that everybody finally got in the mail. that was fun. That was a square bound book, man. That thing was like 50 something pages. But yeah, that was the Zong brothers.
Clive the Kraken kind of looks like Mercy's dad.
Nice. It's so funny, like, because I had the Zong brothers draw that. Zong brothers are my guys, man. But yeah, I just let them do the character designs. They're like, what about this guy? What about this for the design? And I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, those guys are amazing. Like they're fine.
Yeah, they're awesome, man. We got some really awesome stuff we're announcing for Ilcon, and it's a good chunk of it's Zong Brothers related. So it's going to be an awesome couple next 5 years of Zong Brothers stuff. Is awesome, man. It's already in production.
You have to get them to fly in for your event.
Yeah, it's dude, you're gonna come to the event and hang out.
When is it?
It's May. It's Free Comic Book Day, May the 3rd.
Oh, I might have to. My birthday's May the 6th.
Dude, you should come.
I've never had my birthday to myself for 25 years because Free Comic Book Day came along, and that belongs to me now. And I never I haven't done the signing in years. I think the last signing I did was like right before COVID.
Yeah, you should come and just hang out or whatever. Tim Seeley's going. We're just about to announce Josh Howard is going.
Oh, he is cool.
Yeah, he's gonna fly in, man, which is awesome. And yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. We got a couple tattoo artists we have to announce still. But
yeah, I was just actually, I'd love to get him to do something. Because we published his book Black Harvest.
Yeah,
and we did. Oh, that was another crossover that I did. I had this. Actually, I got a copy here. This book called Misplaced. Unfortunately, I don't own all of this book anymore, so I'm hesitant to do more with it. But like the actual rights. But
hold on, let me how do you present you? I want to see. Okay,
this is just for fun.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
That's a Michael Avon Oming.
Is that Michael Avon Oming? Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
Yeah.
Back in the day right there. That's crazy.
This was me and this artist, Lizzie John, colorist.
Nice.
But it was this girl from this weird, repressed futuristic dimension that escapes to our world and lands in this little punk rock town. See a theme in my work. It's like people escaping from one place into another.
Yeah.
You know, I did a crossover with Dead at 17.
That's so nice, dude.
And it was fun because we really found a way to take the sci-fi background of Misplaced and then the supernatural background of Dead at 17 and to make it work together, and kind of similar to what I did with the Hack Slash. Well, just fun when you find a good reason why like those universes could actually exist together.
Yeah,
like that's what we did with Hack Slash, with that crossover, which is in the Omnibus 1 collection, and it's also in one of the Hack Slash Omnibus collections. We made it so that since Cassie hunts slashers and Mercy has to hunt angels, there was a guy brought back from the dead who was going around killing people as a slasher, but his motif was he looked like an angel.
Oh, nice.
And his wings were just a bunch of dead doves tied together.
Yeah.
And he was brought back to life by an actual true avenging angel's sword that the church had hidden in their vault. So there was like a real angel sword involved that was causing the slasher to come to life, and that was so it was a fun combo there.
What's up, Andrew? Nah, Michigan's not cold yet, dude. It's like 40. It's awesome.
Andrew from Cincinnati. That's where I went to high school.
Did you also listen to WKRP in Cincinnati?
Don't know if that was ever real, but we listened to Q101 and something, whatever the alternative channel was in like 1996.
Andrew, I'm gonna be in Cincinnati this 2025. I'm gonna do Cincinnati Horror Hound, that little horror show out there. So I did that show like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So I'm gonna do it again. So I already got.
When is that one?
I don't even remember.
Do you actually move the comics at the horror shows?
Yeah, I slang comics at the horror show. It's like it's a cool show, and it's not like you're not going to do spectacular, but you're going to do pretty good. You know what I mean? My friend Sean Gabrin, who writes, he wrote Puppet Master books and some Zombie Tramp stuff, whatever. He kind of flaked out on me, so I have to go solo now.
Horror shows are always fun. Like the crowd is the most friendly, upbeat people ever.
Yes,
it's kind of funny.
It's March 21st. I think it's March 21st through 23rd. Yeah, what's cool about horror shows, because we've done that, and I've done Texas Frightmare, which is the best horror show you could ever go to. It got so big that they couldn't have it in a hotel no more. It's in a convention center.
Cool.
But what's cool about it is that when you're at a comic book convention, I could do better at a comic book convention, but at a horror show, I get nothing but thumbs up, and I don't get any stink faces from people who don't like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't get all that shit. It's just everybody's like, hell yeah. They get it. But a comic book convention, I'll make more money, but I also get more stink face.
Yeah, and it's all the horror audience. It's even like there's no prudes there. Like everyone's gonna be like, yeah, that's awesome, blood.
Yeah, horror. Let me see. I want to show off a couple other Kickstarters if that's cool. But first, just because I didn't really draw nothing. I'll just show you guys what I've been working on.
I was vaguely.
So I finished drawing. Oh, look at that! I'm doing the sketches.
It's the roughest sketch in the world,
dude. Did you know? Just before we start, did you know that I'm a disciple of your How to Break Into Comic Books book?
Oh, dude, no way.
Yeah, I have your book where it's like it's white and blue, and you drew the cover.
Yeah, you have like the old version. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one where I'm explaining. That's the one where I'm explaining what social media is.
Yeah,
and how you should pay attention to it.
You start explaining BarCon, like the importance of going to the bars after the show to kind of mingle with other creators and shit.
Is that a revelation?
I was just like, I don't like to drink that much. I'm like, I'm not going to this, and I'm socially awkward, and you know what I mean. I'm not good at conversation, so I'm just like, I don't want to go to these things. So,
oh man, it used to be you had to before you could even network.
Yeah. I made myself go to those after parties, like especially when I was with that publisher. We would be at San Diego and stuff. They would always have. So they were already going to these shows, to these after parties. So I just tag along, and I just, I mean, I'm there, but I'm just like, I'm kind of just the wallflower, but I'm there.
That's why, I mean, it is kind of funny, but it's why I put it in the book, because, if you're the personality that's going to do that anyway, it's like, of course I'm there raging. But then it's like not everyone's like that. Some people it's going to go back to the hotel, and it's like, you kind of have, it's like some people might be like, oh shit, I didn't really think about that. Like, especially when you get into the whole difference between employees versus owners, or employees of a bigger like corporate publisher versus like the staff of like a small indie publisher. The farther you get away from like the people that actually run the small company, the more and more people just want to go to the show to not have to go to the office, and they're looking to party, and they're also looking at their opportunities to network to get a job at a different company. And that's
I was younger, I had all black hair. I was 75 pounds lighter. I had no tattoos, but so like I went to these things, and like, and I mingled, and I was introduced to people and all that stuff, and people were introduced to me, and I had no idea why people were being introduced to me. But it's like now 15 years later, it's like I don't like, when the show's over, my interest is to eat a pretty healthy meal and get a good night's sleep. I don't drink or anything, dude. And it's like I wake up refreshed. I go to the show like 2 hours before the show opens. I'll go and get some breakfast, and I'll go to the show and I just walk around, I get my steps in before the show starts, and everybody comes in like just feeling like shit because they slept 3 hours, 4 hours. And I was like, yeah, I used to do that too, but I feel great right now. Like,
don't drink. I didn't know this was an option. Tell me more about this.
Yeah, and then like a whole thing is that we notice is like everybody's like, oh, you get con crud after the conventions, you get sick and stuff, and it's not so much as inhaling the bacteria of the people, because that is part of it, but it's the fact that you are dehydrated and you kept drinking and you're not sleeping, so your body's not fixing itself. They get enough time to fix itself, so all that builds up, and then you come home and then you get sick, and it's like, because dude, you partied too much at that show.
Yeah, I do both. I still drink at the shows, but I go. I can't help but miss like that. Now it's more common that everyone scatters and there aren't as many of those gatherings, and so many people. And then your friends who are more established, if you've been doing it for a long time, they all have so many commissions to do.
Yeah,
they're like, oh man, I'm going to go back to the hotel and draw because it's too much. It's too good of money to make to like just pass it up and then but like, and then the networking doesn't happen the same way anymore because people do that online and stuff, and like companies don't fly out like the decision makers to hire people as much as they used to either, so that kind of kills the reason for there to be as much hangouts. But
yeah,
I still go party, and then I have a ridiculous amount of like a laboratory of like an apothecary set up of supplements and herbs and all kinds of like biohacking things
do it, man.
And I don't get con crud as long as I do all that stuff.
Have you got that ritual that works for you, man?
Yeah.
But what was I say about I think comic books, just the industry in general, is completely different than it used to be. I think comic book stores have changed a lot, man. And a lot of it, some of it was because of COVID, but a lot of it is just because of just independent comic book artists just saying fuck all this, and they started doing Kickstarter and they started doing other platforms like that, and it's just and it changed a lot, man. And then so you still get people saying like, oh, can I get this at a comic book store? And you're like, no, you got to go on Kickstarter. And they're like, well, what's that? And you got to explain it. And then it's a lot of arm twisting still to get people to just realize that the comic book store is not always where you get stuff anymore. Like you got to go other places. And I think there's way more of that now. And it's like I dabbled in Diamond a little bit the past few years, and every single time I did, I was in the hole. I didn't make money. I was in the hole money. Yeah. So it's just like, yeah, it's a trip, man.
I've managed to walk both lines, and like with the Diamond stuff, like by doing the offset press and like running it at the same time. But the catch was that the stores, we would want that every month issue, and you can't worry about that and also have the other model work. So I think what I'm finally doing is, because we have a small enough presence in stores now, which is not the great thing, but like they don't care. Like if they don't get my book that month, it's not like gonna hurt them. So now I'm like, that's the thing that I'm just not as worried about. Like I've got the Disavowed set up with Massive Publishing. Like that's going to be more of a traditional store thing with one lesser Kickstarter component to it. Like that's the one where they're worried about, okay, get that out in stores every month. But Mercy Sparx, I'm not doing that. But like on what you're talking about though, can I share my
sure.
Can I share my link to so I've been thinking about everything you just said a lot, and I'll just put it here in the comments.
Let's see. Tell me if it works. If it doesn't, then I'll put it up. I'll put it up.
I'm putting it in private because it's giving me problems. I'll just. So, yeah, that How to Self-Publish book I wrote, it was called How to Self-Publish Comics, Not Just Create Them. And it was like, this is not a book about the creative process. It's all about everything else. Because there's like one or two other books like this that have ever existed. And it had been 15 years since anyone else had wrote it. So I did mine. And that kind of like was the only thing around for like 15 years.
Yeah.
I updated it 5 times. And then finally, I'm reprinting it again in April, but I'm not updating it anymore because it's so what I instead though it's got all the basics in there. This new thing is what inspired me. Like if I'm going to go back and write something, it's going to be about everything you just talked about, how the industry's changed.
Yeah.
So this new little 48-page prose booklet is coming out in February. It's called Breaking into Comics No More Rules, because all the old rules are gone.
Yeah, it changed a lot.
I think coming at it as a veteran, you're like, all the shit that we did kind of doesn't really matter anymore, and where is it going, blah blah blah. And then the number one thing I see from like newer, younger people trying to break in is they're just like, where the fuck do I even start? And then the OGs are like, have no sympathy, because you're like, it was so hard to even do anything. It was so expensive to even get one book out back then, and all you have to do is put up a webcomic to start getting eyeballs. Like, there's no, because they're like, but the difference is we had like these harder paths to cut through, like if the machete through the weeds, like just cutting your own path to find like the magical city of comics. And then I'm stealing this from Phil Hester. I saw a quote a long time ago. You finally cut your path through, and someone else asks, like, how did you get here? And you turn around and it all grew up behind you. You're like, oh, I don't know how, like, I'm here now. But we were all going towards the same city, the same destination we were looking for. Now you're cutting that path, and you just keep hitting all these different little, like, oh, I just found Kickstarter world. I just found webcomic world. I just found a sort of a comic shop world. Oh, here's, but this, there's just different. You don't even know what destination you're going to. So, but then you collectively, you look at how comics are doing, and all of the sales and everything collectively are like great. Like, comics as a medium has never been bigger. I don't care. I mean, that's what this book is. It's kind of selfish when you write these, because you're like, this is my excuse to sit around and crunch all this data and numbers and really figure out what I really do think, and share it with people, and hopefully educate people, and like, but like I looked at a lot of those numbers, going back to 20 years ago, 25 years ago, and comics was a lot smaller, no matter which way you cut it. Like, there weren't as many people reading, and even after the post-COVID slump, after this crazy boom, comics have still been growing. And even though like superheroes now account for like 7% of all comics sold, they're still doing like, the comic shops are still doing better as a whole, but it doesn't feel that way. And like, what's lost is the other part of comics, which was, you weren't in it just to read the stories. You were in it for the camaraderie, for the community. That's why when you went to the convention, so you were like, oh my God, I found my people. And it was so exciting, energizing. And now people in general are more just into that stuff anyway. So it's not as special. And then when you coordinate online and stuff, and like, it's not like, oh, wow, this big discovery there. So, like, where that's going towards, and also a lot of like newer people who grew up, if you're under like, if you're like 25 or whatever, and you just grown up, there's always been all these comic cons everywhere. It was part of your whole like coming of age experience. It's just like going to a music festival. Like, then you don't even miss that, because that was never like your thing. Like, but I think that's why what's happening is Kickstarter is where a lot of that community is going. Like, you're sort of participating in it with the other backers, and you're sharing what you got, and then that's why it's building up to live events. So caught with Sworn Fest and what you're going to do with your convention, and I think we're going to see more popping up, and I definitely would like to do that someday. I've done a lot of parties and a lot of big events and stuff before, but it was always like, as a supplementary thing to a con, and there was no real good business reason to do it. So we would have fun, but we would bust our asses and then never.
Yeah.
So now there's a real thing behind it. So I've been rambling. I'll shut up.
No, that's cool, man.
I'm like,
That's awesome. That's
cooking,
all awesome, man.
cooking.
That's all awesome. Do you know Lakota?
Yeah, it sounds familiar. I went to Oak Hills High School.
Oh, Oak Hills. That's awesome.
Oak Hills Highlanders.
Oh shit, that sounds amazing. So
I might have made some T-shirts that said Oak Hills Highlanders.
Let me see. Just stuff I've been working on, guys. It's I finished the next Zombie Tramp book. It's completely finished and completely colored. Actually, if I'm gonna share this real quick.
I can show a sneak peek of something on my iPad,
real quick.
But I have to hold it up while you're looking that up. This is one of the pages coming up from Mercy Sparx Daddy Issues in a few months.
Look at that. Oh,
that's how she's making sure that those pants are clean to put on for the morning. Making sure she looks good.
Nice.
And then
which one is this?
This is the first issue of Daddy Issues.
Oh, nice. Okay. I'm checking out her haircut in this one because you told me.
Yeah, I got to send you this because she's growing out the hair from the last one because I'm never going to draw that again.
Yeah, it seemed like it was hard. It seemed like it was a pain in the butt.
It's based off of a real. There's a band called Made of Ace, and this.
Yeah, you sent me a picture.
Allison Elliott. Her hair you'll never find a single picture on the internet where her hair doesn't look like that. I don't know how she must just have just must be glue. Like
yeah, that's crazy, man. It's hard to keep the logic of what's going on, but yeah, I like for Zombie Tramps, like I don't think I'll ever change her hairdo. It's just that's her hair, man, and that's just the way it's always gonna be, and it's just just keep it the same. I keep everybody like a cartoon, like the Jetsons or Flintstones. Everybody, you wear the same fucking clothes. You know, there's a couple of characters we have that always change their clothes, and it's a pain in the ass. But it's like, Zombie Tramp keeps pretty. She has got a couple different outfits, but that's about it. But yeah, it's just I try to keep everybody wearing the same shit all the time. Like the new one is I beat things with my face. Tella, the headless barista that just wanted a normal life, which we are debuting at IlCon, and she wears the same outfit every fucking day. So it's just orange and black, man. But let's see. Okay, I finished issue the new issue of Zombie Tramp. So I've already written the script for the next two Zombie Tramps, and before I started drawing that, I'm like, I got extra time, so we're gonna do still illustrated this year. Which was our swimsuit edition. So we always do a short story in that. So I decided I wrote, and then I'm gonna say I got time. I'm gonna draw the short story. So this is page 1 of that. If I was gonna draw today, here's the pencils for page 2. So this is as tight as my pencils get before I just start inking. But some of the covers that got done, I censored them all. I pre-censored them all for you guys for IlCon. We're doing a IlCon cover of every girl. So here's our Sugar Pop one. There's going to be variants where they have their shirts, but like I was telling Josh earlier, I always draw that last. So, but yeah, so I got all the variants are them just like at their booth, like it's like like they're a guest or whatever. We got our Zombie Tramp one. Then this is Maggie Mintz from I Beat Things with My Face, the headless barista. That's hers. I just finished that like 2 days ago. This is the cover for Lady Death vs. Zombie Tramp, IlCon exclusive cover. And then this is our IlCon cover that Nightmare Lynch did. And she made it like a Marlboro cigarette pack in the background.
Oh, yeah. Didn't catch that at first.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, Marlboros. She put like Surgeon General warning. Reading causes mind expansion.
Dude, you gotta make so. I got a thing for that. I don't want to stop your flow. Keep going.
Oh, I got 2 more. So we got Pablo Munoz with a Sad Girl Cannibal Kitty exclusive cover. And then this is Tim Seeley's Hack Slash Ilcon exclusive cover, man.
Oh, dude, zoom in on. I didn't see that. Yeah, you'll have to send that to me so I can see Carlos's colors there.
Yeah, freshly colored by Carlos, man. It's fantastic. I love it. Like right away when I asked you who did the colors, I'm like, I got to keep it consistent because he's colored so much of Seeley's stuff that I just need him to color Seeley's stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So it makes sense.
Carlos is great. Super reliable dude too. He's in Chile.
Oh, he's in Chile? So is our guy Pablo. Pablo Munoz is the man. He's Pablo is gonna be taking over our Sad Girl Psycho Baby series and also our new Cannibal Kitty series that we're gonna have later. And we're taking a year break on her. And yeah, it's Wicked Tales of the Cannibal Kitty, and yeah, he's so good. And then the Ilcon exclusive that we're doing is every guest got to pick a death, like a death page of like which one of our characters kills them and how. So I kind of took everybody's information of how they wanted to die and put it in a loose little script, and it's like 19 pages, and I gave it to Pablo, and he's drawing all those pages right now. So every Ilcon exclusive that you get at the show, the interiors are going to be that, which is really fun. So
nice.
So we got some pretty interesting kills. So
dude, you need to make those that cover as like you can get custom like the candy. You can get the old candy cigarettes.
Oh yeah,
They used to. I think they made those up until like the 80s.
I love the candy cigarettes. I didn't like the bubblegum ones.
Yeah, there's a little like candy store here that sells like wholesale like bundles, and I saw they have boxes that have the candy cigarettes in them. But Mercy Sparx has a brand that she smokes called Brimstones.
Nice.
That are like, the thing is they actually have a tiny piece of like hellfire brimstone in each cigarette, so you can't, if you're addicted to those, like, and you can't find anything on earth that like gets your fix. So we went ahead and bought those, and then I ended up having to make these stickers that were like the perfect size and then put them around the actual cases. But they were fun. We had like, it was way too much effort to keep doing it, but we actually had like candy cigarettes of Mercy's brand.
That's awesome. We did when that whole bath salts incident went down in Florida that time. That year at San Diego, like we just sat up at night just buying rock candy, and we just made these little packets, and we made a little sticker of Zombie Tramp in a bathtub, and it said Zombie Tramp bath salts, and we sold that shit, and fucking we sold out of them, dude. It was
perfect, dude, because because the guy was eating someone's face.
Yeah, dude ate a dude's face off, man. We even did a story that was based on that, and it took place, but we had it took place in Detroit, and it was a guy, a drug dealer that was like, the stuff that he was making was shit, and he was like on pressure from his buyers, so ever to start coming up with something new. So he goes to his shitty apartment, and Zombie Tramp's in his apartment because she thought she had just woken up from a dirt nap and she thought it was abandoned. So he comes home and she's just sitting in his bathtub taking a bath, and he's just like, what the fuck? And she's like, what the fuck? And it's kind of like she just leaves, and he's just like, okay, cool, like just ignored it. And then but there's like a resin in the tub that he started scraping up and using to make a new kind of meth. And it started mutating people and turning them into zombies and stuff.
Zanzibar says, I haven't had candy cigs in forever. They're better on your memory.
They are better in your memory, yeah.
Clump together sugar powder.
Oh shoot. All right, we're gonna let's do the what's on Kickstarter video, and then we'll show some Kickstarters. Where is it?
I love getting fake brands in the books. I'm trying to.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm trying to like meme out this new beer, and like a cheap beer in Mercy called TBF instead of like PBR.
Oh, nice.
And it's just like, it says this beer fucks is like the full name of it.
When Pablo was drawing, he's also the artist for Hack Slash versus Zombie Tramp, and when he was drawing the mall, because the whole thing takes place at a mall, and he was drawing like he was really drawing like Forever 21 and Target, and I was like, I go no. I go, just change it to something else, you know. So he started to put it like Forever 21 was Forever Be Mine, and on Target was, I don't know what it was called, Bullseye or something. I don't know, but yeah.
Man, I was Cliff Chang's Catwoman Lonely City, and I almost never read Batman or like that stuff that much anymore. But I just was upset. I just grew up on that as a kid. I grabbed that collected edition of his, and the level of detail he put into all of the brands in Gotham, like to making it feel like real streetwear brands and shit, like it's incredible. Like if that's like, if you're into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, I'm always into that. And like on Zombie Tramp, there's like a cryptic monster kind of website that is constantly with like sightings. So it's like she always kind of look to see if people are talking about her and things like that, because she's vain. But when Sean Gabrin, when he was writing the Hack Slash versus Zombie Tramp, he came up with a new one called White Raven, and it's like a horror kind of genre social media group, but the whole thing's in black and white, and it's like it runs like Instagram. And I was like, that's awesome, man. So I'm totally gonna use it from now on. So
totally.
White Raven. But
speaking of Kickstarter stuff, if you come across
some Kickstarter stuff. Ready? Here we go.
How about this one?
All right, there's my intro. So we're going to show off a couple of things that I have saved. If you know of any, we'll look them up too. Let me see what we're doing. Where are my... Sometimes I can't find shit. Okay. All right, here we are. Okay, cool. So first one I want to show off is Femme Fatales is awesome. If you guys don't know, it's more on the not safe for work side. It's UK. Just want to check it out real quick. Cool designs. Look at these other designs. Really awesome shit. Made Games makes it. And Made Games, there's a lot of cool anime kind of comic book stuff. But yeah, they always put that not safe for work kind of side on it. But it's just the rendering on the colors and everything are really nice. But yeah, it's cool. Then this is their not safe for work section of the book. But yeah, it's good shit. There's another one. If you guys know who Rashta Lynn is, Rashta Lynn is doing a couple covers for us, and she's been doing stuff for like Marvel and all this other stuff. But she's slowly been working on her own book, and I guess she's finally done with it. And it's a manga, and the pages are just awesome looking. That's Rashta Lynn right there. But yeah.
I was looking at that one the other day.
Really? Yeah, she just turned in two Zombie Tramp covers for us. They're really good. I'm using one for the next campaign, and then banking the other one for another Zombie Tramp one. But yeah, she always wears a hat. But yeah, it's called Wonderverse Saga. Really good looking book, man. And then Mirka Andolfo did a cover for her, which is this one right here.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, very simple. I think there's only 3 covers. You can get digital, or you can get hardcover or soft cover. And then the next one is, if you guys know who Joe Picar is. Joe Picar is awesome, man. I back his Patreon. He backs my Patreon. He's done interiors for us for some stuff before, and yeah, this is a Blackthorn Coven. The book that he did I like the best was I think it was Red Tails or something like that. It was about a pirate. She's like a redhead pirate chick. But yeah, his stuff is awesome. He draws and colors everything. Very cool. He always utilizes like unfocusing the shots, and like to give that nice depth perception on it. It's really cool.
It's got a vibe of something classic that I'm trying to think of. I can't quite place.
Yeah. Sometimes some of his stuff, I'm like, man, this just looks like old school Disney, man. But especially in some of the face expressions. But yeah, Joe Picard is the shit, man. I guess that's his new buff character. Look at that face. Look at that lip bite. Is so clean, dude. Yeah, Joe Picard, man. So if you guys don't know that one, I'll put the link in the description of this stream. And then we'll finish with Mercy Sparx when I'm done. Let's Wi-Fi Wars. I think you guys should jump on. There's 19 days to go, and they have not reached their goal. Their goal is only 4K. They're at 2K. There's only a few covers, but look how fat this book is, dude. It's just it's crazy, man. It's called Wi-Fi Wars. It's like motorcycle gangs. These cool faces.
Where does the Wi-Fi come in?
I don't know. I gotta read it and find out. Well, maybe it's on this guy's arm. So, yeah, these are all the character designs. Cool character designs. So Wi-Fi Wars main characters. Then here's a Team Jokers, which is some other motorcycle gang. Look at that page; it's so cool. This cover is pretty cool, but there's a Zong Brothers cover. Is one of the reasons why you guys should get it is for the Zong Brothers cover. So there's some cosplayers. I thought this was cute, sexy robots, but it's not. But I don't know if you know that artist, but he's awesome. But yeah, here's that Zong Brothers cover. Super cool.
Is this still Wi-Fi Wars?
This is still Wi-Fi Wars, yeah.
I'd be like over here looking on this other screen trying to find.
And then if you guys are Don McTagg fans, a lot of you guys that buy Coffin comic books and stuff like that, Don McTagg has done a lot of stuff for them. This is her own book. She did all these short issues. This is the whole collected editions, so it's already doing great. It's 8 days left, but yeah, she did the interior pages and everything. So yeah, this is, I don't know how many years. This is the Ali Garza cover. How many years it took her to finish this book, but that's a Ney Rufino. But yeah, here's
she'd have to be in there.
Here you go. Here's the interiors, dude. It's just nuts, man. It looks all watercolor.
It's awesome when you see someone who just slowly worked on something for a long time and then just finally like put it out. And I mean, that's what's so awesome about Kickstarter is you could do that.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't. You can just kind of like not worry about like, is it gonna pay for itself? You're like, no, when I get it done, it'll be ready. people will be there for it. If I build it, they will come.
I really like this cover with all the different arms coming out like energy. That's really cool. And we'll finish with the Mercy Sparx, man. Challenge coins are coming, you put. So Mercy Sparx, guys, got 7 days left. This is Josh Blaylock up in here. That's been hanging out with us all day. If you have never read Mercy Sparx, this is the time to do it. And there's also an 8-page bonus story. But this is, how many pages is this going to be total?
It's so this is literally like a reprinting of the first issue, and the issue 0 came before it. So it's not a facsimile copy. Like I'm not that close to it, but it's going to be a reprint, and we're doing. I redrew the original cover. I really wanted to keep it as simple as it was.
Yeah,
I resisted changing a bunch of stuff. I was like, I'm just going to update it, and then also we have the for fun. The spirit Halloween meme in there, which is going to come with a print with like an extra size, like inside of the plastic sleeve, so that it feels like an actual like costume.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
And then Dan's going to steal that from me.
Oh my gosh, I will. Put a rubber tarp in there. How do you feel about when you look at your old drawing and then your new drawing?
Oh man, that one was brutal.
That's how I feel all the time, dude.
It's still though, you're like, no matter what, you kind of like feel like there's something about the energy of the older ones, and you're like, you're kind of battle, like you're like clearly, when you draw something better in your mind, but like, I'm also gonna reprint the Merhoff cover like nice and clean without any logo or anything, and we've got some upgrades on that one.
What I've been doing when I have a plain cover, background cover, I've been spot foiling it, so the whole background is foil, and then the character isn't, so they pop. It's just
cool.
It looks so nice, dude.
I like that. We usually do the like UV spot. We'll pop the character, but
that's fun too. Yeah,
kind of cool idea to do the background. That was the Tim cover, which we do have a little NSFW version there too.
Yeah, I really like this cover, man. It's awesome. It's so funny. It's like she's pointing at his crotch and be like,
and that's actually like what's fun. It's like funny. We did it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually like a scene from the book, pretty much, because it's like this could actually be like page 0, because when you open the first page, she's like fighting with this guy. So
that's hilarious. That's cool.
Kind of sets the tone for the series.
Yeah. Is there any Kickstarters that you would recommend that I could type in or no?
They don't need our help, but I'm like geeked out over how well the heavy metal and the bone collection with Jeff Smith.
The bone collection is it's
up to like 200K.
Where is it gonna be? Comics. There it is. The Valley.
But I might have to get that.
Yeah, look at that. 211K, man. Do you know what's funny about this? Go ahead.
Oh, I was there buying those when they were coming out the first time as black and white comics, and then it's just crazy how many times that story has lived on and been reprinted for different audiences, and it's still just an awesome example of comic storytelling. Like,
you see this flip book right here? Like, I have it, dude. I have the original one. It wasn't in color. It was just black and white. And I still have it, dude. It's like that flip book I saw that flip book and I was like, that's so freaking awesome, man.
It's kind of like Trojan Horse is like a dark fantasy story into it, which is what's fun.
Yeah.
People don't know. But there's that I don't know much about I Doppelganger, but that's Shelley Bond, the former Vertigo editor. She's done some amazing stuff, like her book Filth and Grammar.
Yeah.
I used to happily tout my self-publishing book, was kind of the only thing like it for many years. There has never been a book like this Filth and Grammar book that she did about comic book editing and everything that goes into it. And I'm like, it helped me understand why I do certain things I do. That I just never had any formal vocabulary for, but also it's like the perfect thing to educate someone on how to manage their own books.
This heavy metal campaign, I know it's doing good and everything, and kudos to them for trying to be a magazine still, but it's like I'm not impressed by it, dude. Like, I seen these covers a long time ago. Like, this one does nothing for me. This is just some old Frazetta stuff, and it's just, you know what I mean? I'm just not wowed by it. It's kind of like, except for this one, that Dan Quintana, whoever did this. This is amazing, this cover right there, man. It's the best thing in here.
I liked seeing that. I like it already because I've used it for examples to explain to other people that don't quite understand what's happening on Kickstarter. Look at this legacy, title.
Yeah.
And just acknowledging look, fuck it. We're doing 4 of these a year. Do it on Kickstarter. We'll sell them through the stores too. It'll do even better. And that's what we're doing, man.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if they learn over the course of that there's actually a real audience, just an ecosystem in Kickstarter. Will they get Zhang Brothers heavy metal cover? That kind of thing? Is that gonna will they start pulling? Are they gonna get a Shikare cover or whatever? All that stuff.
Yeah. This is my favorite cover on here. This thing is awesome.
That's pretty dope.
You know what's funny? In her crotch area, doesn't that look like a Decepticon symbol? Some Easter eggs in here, man.
Someone has done that somewhere in the last 40 years. That's
and the thing about this kick campaign that also is kind of like, it's just whatever. It's just like how many drawings of Tarna are we gonna see? You know what I mean? It's just like when people think heavy metal, they just think about that movie that came out, back in the day, and they're like, oh, they think, oh, Tarna, and it's just like that's not. Heavy metal wasn't a series with Tarna in it. It was a bunch of short stories, and they were amazing. But
it's the challenge of the anthologies. Hopefully, it helps people launch some other stuff. But I was gonna shout out the all the stuff going on from Space Between. Death Goddess of Cthulhu.
That's on Kickstarter too, right?
Yeah, that's their like sort of dark.
I had that Death Goddess. I had that one up too, man. That's crazy.
And it's spinning off their whole Dark Veil imprint, like just.
Yeah, this one. I had this. I was looking at this one like last week. This one's got 2 days left, guys.
And they just do a great job of getting some awesome covers. And there's definitely some overlap with the Zombie Tramp community.
Oh yeah, all the time. It's killing it on Kickstarter, and they got a campaign running. Sometimes a couple running at the same time, and all that is Bad Bug, man. Bad Bug is constantly just putting stuff out.
Yeah,
this guy's awesome. Dravicus is awesome. Dravicus has like 8 covers from us. For us for next year.
That's one thing you gotta help me, because I gotta get better about pulling in some of the these cover artists that are a lot of these people are like Raj Lynn is a good example of like someone doing Marvel stuff, but there's so many people now that are just huge through crowdfunding.
Yeah,
they don't even
that's one of the things I'm like hella respect to these people who got big just off the internet, just off of crowdfunding, man. Like they didn't do the convention circuit. They didn't do any of that stuff. They didn't do all that old school shit. I just did nothing but convention circuit. And then, luckily I was able to get my book on the comic book store shelves on a monthly basis. And that helped a lot, man. Look, this is another Dravicus.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's so dope, man. There you go.
They also have
here's Drax Gal.
Yeah, that cover is sick.
Yeah,
I love that drawing.
Yeah, man, he was doing so much for us, and then he just blew up. I pulled him off of Sad Girl because he was constantly just doing covers for people. And I was like, dude, you can't do interiors no more, man. You're a cover artist. You're a cover artist. You can't say no. You just keep going, man. So I'm like, that's what you want to do. That's cool. More power to you, man. It's awesome. So look, this one's cool.
I've just got to draw interiors. It's my curse.
You gotta what?
I've got to draw interiors. Like when I am drawing, it's like I'm a storyteller. Like,
yeah, if it's the right character, I love to do the interiors, man. Like right now is like we got a good handful of interior artists that do our books, and but I won't give up Zombie Tramp. Like there's so many artists that worked on Zombie Tramp. But I just, now that I have the rights back, I don't see myself giving anybody the regular series like to draw the interiors.
No, man, I give you props for you stuck with it. You just kept it simple, like not easy, but simple, like, and just kept doing it. And you've been building it. Like I've been doing Kickstarter since 2012, long before like almost anybody. And it's definitely before other publishers. I remember like people used to be like so weird about doing it, and they're like, what do you mean you're going to ask for money? And it's like, okay, what are you asking to buy a comic book?
That's what I tell people. I go, you go to comic book stores, right? Like, yeah, I go. You got a pull. You got. You know what I mean? You go to your regular comic book store and you got a pull, and you pre-order books, right? And then when they come in, they're in your pull box. They're like, yeah. I go. It's the same shit. I go. You're gonna go on Kickstarter and you're gonna
but I
pre-order.
made somebody else ask for the money.
Yeah, but it's so funny when they're like I started wording it different. Like instead of just saying, "Oh, you're a backer" and stuff like that, like, "Oh, back this Kickstarter and stuff." I started just saying, "Pre-order this book. Pre-order this book on Kickstarter." And now that started making sense to people because they were like, back this book on Kickstarter. Like, I don't know what that means. So just pre-order this book on this website.
Like, but like in the midst of that, since then, like in 2014, I was back to doing conventions really hard. I did like 40 cities in a year, and never really stopped, and published a lot of other creator-owned stuff over the since then. And we were really building Kickstarter campaigns and have done dozens. But I have helped launch a lot of them, but I've just never really focused on my own. And just building up a core group of them. And I feel like, the Mercy audience is still there. And that's just what I'm really been focusing on now. Oh, because I've talked about all this and I'm kind of like brain farted. There's a spin-off series of Mercy called Club Nephilim, which we're fulfilling now. And that's like, it's characters that have been throughout like the book for many years as a subplot, and now there's a spinoff. And that one, Pat Shan from the Dark Veil imprint from Space Between, like he's the head honcho there. He co-writes, or he writes that. And he's the only other writer who's ever done any Mercy Sparx stories with me. He co-wrote issues 13 and 14, and then he's writing Club Nephilim. So
I just recently I have a co-writer that I have jump on for certain books and stuff, but it's like I still won't let no one write Zombie Tramp. Like I just won't. But it's but like for all the other characters, like I'll write, like sometimes I'll write everything that's in my head. Sometimes I'll write like the first 7 pages or something. And then I'm like, okay, and then after that, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. I turn it in and then see what they come up with, and then we go back and forth a few times, and then we're good. So it's been working out pretty well. So
I've this is the first time I handed off anything to just let someone else completely write the story, and it's been fun because it's a little darker. It's a little less like shooting from the hip because it has to be, because it's like not, it's like my thing when I'm doing it, but like, someone else is like, they have to like pitch it back to me and stuff. But it's fun though to see that, like, it really starts to feel like one of the efforts I wanted to make in the last book we did was just showing off like the universe at large. And it, it, like, you run into the same thing like with Zombie Tramp. You've got your tongue-in-cheek, like real quick pitch, and people can be there for like the surface level stuff, but then then they get into it and they realize like there's this whole world of stuff in the background, and
big time
layers.
Real quick, all right, so this is the landing page, guys. If you're on my mailing list, I already sent you a whole thing, a newsletter about this, and then also on the social media. But go on here, guys, and hit the notify me on launch if you haven't already. And then I just put this up today. Click on sneak peek, and you're gonna get the first 5 pages of the book, plus a preview of some of the covers and some of the merchandise. So jump on that, and then it's 9:16, man. We're in OT.
All right.
You got anything to close out with?
No, that's it, man. I'm let's get the fuck out. no, man. Now the time you do these is crazy how fast it goes.
Oh yeah, man, big time. So I want to do one where I have too many people in, where I can't get a word in. That's going to be amazing. Because I like any stream show I do, if there's more than someone else, like if there's one person and me, it should be kind of good. But if it's like 4 people, I end up not talking at all because it's just like everybody cuts everybody off. I'm notorious for cutting people off too, but it's just like, man, it's just I can't get a word in, so I'm like, I'm just gonna draw.
Yeah, next time I'll try to get my screen set up properly.
Yeah, man, we'll figure it out. It's like I said, like no one's gotten it right since you're the 4th guest.
It's everyone's in that same boat. They're like, man, I'm just trying to be an artist. Now I got to be a video expert, and like,
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's
all
crazy.
feel.
Like, yeah, like I want to. I was just thinking about it. I'm like, man, like even with social media and stuff, I got to start moving on to the social medias that the younger generations are using, man. And it's just like I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to do a Snapchat
Well,
or
no,
TikTok.
So not to drag this into more overtime, but that's kind of what I get into a little bit in this new book, the Breaking into Comics thing, right?
Yeah.
Just an exploration of this, like, because it's looking like where's social media going when, like, I already stopped going to Google for like 75% of my questions. I go to ChatGPT and ask it the question.
Wow.
Because it searches and it looks for all of the answers and it gives them to me. And then I just have to verify that it's not just making shit up. But it's like the way we go to the search bar for Google, that shit's done in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Like that's just done. Like why? Like so then you're gonna go like, well, how do now the whole ecosystem of like how like Google Ads works and why like people are what the whole intricate web of how websites are set up behind the scenes to make sure they feed into other things and how the whole advertising world fuels this whole thing is just completely going to go away and become something different. And still in the middle of learning kind of where that's going. And I don't want to learn more than I need to learn, but like beyond a certain point. But what do you do when you can't search for things the same way you used to? It's more and more and more. It's going back to like, do you have the community that follows you? Do you have their email list? Like, can you just reach out to them directly and will they come support your shit? Will they share it by word of mouth? And then like, it'll be less about you doing anything to share it. You'll just make the shit, give it to your community and keep building them. And then the algorithms will be the thing that decide, oh, people like this thing, we're going to share it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what TikTok already does already, but just imagine everything becoming like that and not just like a social media video clip, like everything on the internet sort of working that way. And that's how people will find shit. So it's like what we're doing now, and especially what you've been building by just having the campaigns running and building, like having this event and just having like your core group of people is the way that everyone's going to need to do it. And that's why I'm trying to get like streamlined and focus more on my own stuff too. Cause it's funny. It's like kind of created a panic. And then you're like, well, wait a minute, this is actually what I wanted to do in the first place. Like, this is why I got into this, to just make my own shit and put it out there and hope enough people buy it that we can keep making more. And
that's something I'm always thinking about. I'm like, well, how can I expand the audience? How can I do it? So I'm always like thinking about, different ways. I'm like, do I try different social media? Do I, I do the newsletters, or, like I run Google ads, stuff like that. But it's just like, the next thing would be, like you said with Chat GPT, where it's kind of like that's going to be the new search engine. So is that going to be the new spot eventually where somehow you can advertise through it, where it's going to start suggesting it to people? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Based on
I mean, it's funny. Just throw in some questions about your own stuff in there and see what it comes back with. Like, act like you're a person. Like, I've done it before. It's fucking wild. Like it'll and then it's funny too to see like what's just totally wrong.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Let me see what's coming up. you got your campaign finishing, and then when is your next Mercy Sparx book?
So we were about to launch. So the next campaign is going to be Circuit Seduction Revenge. Well, there's going to be the Breaking into Comics. It's going to be very short, very small little campaign, way different than this stuff. But the next comic is going to be Circuit Seduction Revenge, which is probably the most gratuitous, like sexy, violent thing I've ever done.
Nice.
It's about a corrupt billionaire CEO in the year 2049 who has this like synth brothel within his own private high-rise domain, but he's responsible for the death of someone whose sister happens to be a brilliant engineer, computer engineer and hacker. She hacks one of the sex bots to just create mayhem through the whole building. So nice. Jeffrey Epstein being killed by Ex Machina turned John Wick.
That's cool.
And then that's going to be a brand new thing, like a one-shot being drawn by Antonio Baldari. And then Mercy Sparx Daddy Issues will probably launch in like early February. We're going to do circuits in January.
Okay. Yeah, January for us. January is the new Zombie Tramp book, but we're gonna go for like maybe the first week of March or the first couple weeks of March for Zombie Tramp Hack Slash. We're like a month ahead of schedule, dude. And it's like I'm just like fuck it, just put it out.
So over here is skids and skids of Hack Slash hardcover books.
Oh my goodness!
And over here are Hack Slash T-shirts, and so because here at the Devil's Due Studios facility, we do the fulfillment for all the Hack Slash campaigns.
Nice.
So
well, you don't have to worry. I'm doing this one.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're doing this one in your Michigan compound.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be big. That's gonna be a big campaign. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm hoping it's going to be awesome. They're two amazing characters. People always kind of mentioned it. Oh, that'd be cool if they crossed over. So I think that's going to be fun. So yeah, this is the flyer. If anybody has seen it, but since this is also going to be a cover, there's like a longer version of it. But
it looks like you made an album.
Yeah. So it totally looks like an album.
Is it dubstep?
Yeah, but it's funny because I keep them on separate layers so I can move them around to change composition or whatever. And then
no, dude, I wish I could. I will say no. That all I've said is everything I've seen on it looks incredible.
Yeah, that book is insane, man. And then don't forget in May, you guys want to drive down to Michigan. This show is gonna be awesome. We were just at the venue today because I had to take some pictures of some of the rooms for game plans, but like. One of the topics was how's the weather going to be in May? It's like May 3rd, and I'm like, it's Michigan, so it's Michigan is in May is like it may be nice and sunny, it may be raining, like that's May.
Yep. So, April showers bring May showers.
Yeah. Though it's like that whole springtime is since I've lived in Michigan, it's been there is no spring. It's the fight for summer. There's winter, and then there's the fight for summer, and then it's summer. You know what I mean? It's just
I'm gonna spread that because we really need a new season joke besides there's winter in construction.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard too. Winter in construction, but there's winter, the fight for summer, and then some summer, and then fall. Yeah, it's just fall is my favorite. It goes too fast. It's gone.
Chicago always gets one day in February that's like 72 degrees.
Oh wow!
Like last year, I posted a picture of my fat little Chihuahua mutt hanging out on the patio, and like it's like 70 degrees. He's just chilling in the sunshine, and then like 4 days later, it's like 5 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's how it's been here. It's like right now it's snowing a little bit, but it's just like all of a sudden it got to below 20, and then all of a sudden it gets kind of warm again. So it's weird. But anyway,
we're at the point of talking about the weather, so I guess we're done.
We got to the weather. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching. We did an hour and a half, man. This is the longest show we've ever done. So it's we're breaking records here. So, but make sure to check out Josh's Kickstarter and get interested in Mercy Sparx, man.
Some kind soul go in there and bump us up over 8K. We're so close.
Heck yeah. So, all right, I'm going to hit the goodbye button. So, we'll see you guys later.